Hello and welcome to Teen Talking. My name is Amy.
My name is Kelly.
And today our guest is...
April. That's me.
Okay, so first off, let's go over our drinks before we get into the topic. So today I'm going to be drinking Hoji Cha milk tea, and we actually iced it, so it's nice. I've been drinking it, obviously.
Yeah, I'm drinking the green milk tea.
Yeah.
I'm drinking black milk tea.
All right, so our topic for today is going over stress and how we manage stress. And we brought in April as our guest because she's actually worked in retail. You've done pretty much everything regarding customer service. And
True. I worked under makeup. I did cars, which is the most stressful, in my opinion.
I can't even imagine working in cars, like anything that has to do with that, because that's just too much for me personally.
We did retail, right?
Yeah, we both have done retail, but like doing car sales.
Also done food service.
Oh no.
Okay.
See, there you go. She has more experience than we do on this stuff.
Yeah. I got more experience in getting yelled at, basically.
Yeah. Which is so sad. Like, oh my goodness. So we figured that since we have our friend April here today, we'd talk about stress, because if there's one person who knows how to deal with stress, it's this little pretty lady over here.
Yeah, maybe I'm just really into masochism.
Okay, so our first question of the day is, let's just get in general, what stresses us out? So Kelly, how about you go first? What stresses you out?
Oh my God. I get stressed over little things because I also worked in food service. I worked in retail. So I've been through like those types of stressful situations before, but now not so much because mostly I'm working from home. So I guess now what stresses me is if I try to do something and if I end up doing it wrong, then like it wouldn't be because of somebody else. It wouldn't be a different person. It would just be like an event. And it would entirely be my fault because I did it wrong. So
your mistakes, if you will, like mistakes.
Yeah, all of my mistakes, all of my little flaws, and everything now is internal.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, so how about you? Yeah.
Like, what doesn't stress me out? But like piggybacking off of Kelly, I guess it also has to do about like my own accountability, because you could be like stressed about like the situation, but it's honestly about how you react to it. Mm-hmm. So like honestly, I get stressed over everything. But if I really can't control the situation, then that's where, it's really hard to like cope with.
So you're saying what you're trying to say is like the buildup of stress. Like if this happens, then this happens, and this happens. Like the buildup of stress, like that's what gets to you.
Yeah.
So it's like the minor things that just add up over time, right? Is that what I'm getting from you?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Well, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Wow. Like for me, I have a different perspective of stress because as you mature, like when I was younger, I used to get stressed out about little things. Now it's outside of the general things that most people stress about, like financing and all that stuff. I'm fine with now. It's like traffic. Like traffic stresses me out, especially here in Jersey. It's too much. Yeah, it annoys me. And I just get like all the people on the roads is crazy. And I don't know, I guess sometimes it also has to do with the buildup of stress, but I don't know. I think I've learned to manage stress a little bit.
And I feel like people like in our demographic, in our age range, it's all about comparisons too. So when you're like looking at your friends or your family and you're not in a certain like part of life that you think that you should be, that can get you really stressed. That's like probably a main factor that a lot of people deal with.
Yeah. Totally.
So dealing with that every single day.
And it wasn't always like that. And our previous generation, like our parents never really had to deal with it. I know with Asian families, a lot of times they're like, well, my kid went to this school, we did this and that. And nowadays you don't even have to say it. You just look on Facebook, look on Instagram. And it's right there.
That is very true, because since we're all social media driven, I mean, I'm not so much. I know how you guys still have a lot of social media platforms, but it is true. Like once you compare each other's lives, I can imagine how stressful that is, because sometimes people get stressed out that they're not where they want to be in life. And like they expected like, hey, at this age, I should have been doing this by now, and they're not. And sometimes they might get overwhelmed and stressed by that.
And it diminishes your goals that you've actually accomplished that you should have been proud of.
And it's really hard too, just because like with social media, people want to put their best forward. So then you're looking at everyone at their best, right? Or what they want to present. And then you're just like, you don't really think about like, oh, but they deal with like this stress too. Like they had to do this to get to that place. You're just thinking like, oh, they're traveling everywhere. They got this job. Like, everything is so easy. And like, for me, it's just so hard. So I can't do anything. You just kind of feel hopeless.
Oh, but that is very, very true. I mean, because it is true. Our generation, like, I don't know, our generation is different because we kind of got a mix up of like not having technology and then finally having technology, dealing with that transition of it, and then being so connected with everybody. I can't even imagine the younger generation, like the kids that are in high school right now that just like
based off
everything.
Of it?
Yeah,
I
like just
know.
everything. Their entire life is just based off of this. And I feel so bad and stressed out for them. That's another stress. I get stressed out with the younger generation because only
TikTok kids.
It's no, but everything is like about followers, or it's just like, do I have like the right fit? Like, do I look like this great? Because if I have these many followers, like on Instagram, on TikTok, I don't know what kids use these days.
I know. I feel like it is true. Like, I feel like the greatest thing that we can do for the younger generation is just listen to them.
Yeah.
That way we can help them work through it. Like, that's too much. Anyways, okay, so let's go on to our second question, which is, knowing that we have all these stresses in our day-to-day life, like, how do we manage that day-to-day stress? So, Kelly, I guess we'll go off with you again. Like, how do you manage that day-to-day stress?
For me, it helps to have some time. Like, if you work, because I work from home a lot, so it's really difficult to separate your work from your living space because it's kind of all the same. So for me, the way I kind of deal with it is I keep my workspace separate from where I'm living and where I'm relaxing. And I also schedule in time to just kind of chill, read a book, or even just do nothing, just go on my phone. Like, it's important to give yourself a break here and there, even if you think that you're not really getting tired. I just think it's important to break up your work schedule and also to have that time where it's like, okay, I'm done for today. I don't care if I have other things that I want to get done. Like, I'll do that tomorrow, unless it's, really time sensitive.
No, that is true.
Yeah, but I think that helps a lot, because when you do that, then you're kind of, it's kind of like you have a work day, but you're not pushing everything onto yourself at once. And you know that if you work for 5 hours straight, you're still going to have a few breaks in the middle, so you're not going to burn out.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you have your own separate, like, routine, or not even routine. I guess it's like small things, like whether it's being on your phone or just like laying down and relaxing, things like that.
It's kind of like an escape from reality.
Okay.
For like a little bit, you could play video games, you could read a book, and like you're just not focused on the situation at hand.
Oh, so you're just taking your mind off of it.
It's kind of like you're not trying. Like, of course you want to solve, like, the problem of, like, not...
No, of course,
like,
it's like, understanding your responsibilities, but at the same time, not procrastinating either. Yeah. It's just, like, knowing just that, like...
a break.
Yeah, you're right, because it helps a lot with procrastination. If you have breaks, people might think it's not being productive, but it actually helps with procrastination, because the longer you have... Like, if you plan a 8-hour workday with no breaks, you're going to dread it. But if you know that you're going to have breaks in between, then it doesn't seem as bad. So you can just kind of step into it instead of just like dive into it,
Okay. So April, how about you?
Like, to deal with stress?
Like the day-to-day stuff.
I feel like when it's like something like very small, and if it like gets to me, then you just have to check yourself and just be like, it's okay. Like, you just have to give yourself that pep talk, even like if it's like in front of the mirror. Or just even if you're in your car, just talking to yourself, just make sure no one's looking at you while you're talking to yourself. That would end weird. But
just keep an AirPod in. Or
and just like, just to see like, hey, you're doing great. Like, it's okay. You're getting through it. Like, you know what I mean? Just so you just need that kind of encouragement. If you can't get it from somebody else, because you should also talk to your friends if you're feeling too stressed. But then like, if you don't have that and you need something like very like instant, then just be like, hey, it's okay. If anything, this is gonna be over in like 30 minutes. Like, then you won't ever have to think about this ever again.
Oh my goodness.
That's how I got through presentations in college. It's just like, no one really cares. So just say it, and then no one's going to remember it. But it helped.
But
though.
It does. Yeah,
it's like,
in a weird way, it does help, knowing that, like, in the long run, chances are you're not going to see or associate with the same people.
He's like, are you really? It's like, oh, you see Ted, and he, like, 5 years later, he's going to come up to you. He's like, hey, remember when you stuttered, like, your presentation about Beyonce back in our music history class? What was wrong with you? Like, who, like, no one's ever gonna do that.
No one's gonna do that.
Like, if anything, they're just probably gonna be like, and and then they're gonna move on.
Like, I know this is like a little bit sidetracking, but you ever, I'm sure everyone, even the audience, has had moments where like this, where they're laying in bed, or they're just walking around, or even just sitting down by themselves, like eating food, and then all of a sudden they think about this one cringy or awkward moment, and they're like, this is horrible.
Like when you're about to go to sleep. And then you're just like, oh man, I remember when I said that one thing in 2007.
Yes, exactly.
And it's like, why did you do that? And then your heart starts racing, and then your body's just like, oh, you're not going to sleep tonight. Yeah. Go on Facebook, go on TikTok.
Like, I don't know why, but when that happens to me, I actually like say something out loud. Like, I usually like grunt out loud. I'm like, what? I don't know why. I don't like as soon as it happens, like so that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys are talking about like how when you have a stressful moment happen, like, oh, don't worry about it, you're gonna forget about it. But then like years later down the line, it's like,
well, that's good too, because if you laugh about like things, maybe it's a stressful moment, and it physically hurts, right? But then if you're laughing at it, it's kind of just like, eh.
Oh no, there are some times when I'm like, it's more like a grunt saying, like, it's like a cringe grunt.
Can you
like,
just do it for the viewers?
I don't even know, like, I can't even remember what I do. It's just, my body just automatically reacts, and I just, like, that's what I'm saying, like, I grunt in a weird way. Maybe in a future video, you'll be able to catch me.
Oh, I hope so. I'm ready.
Oh my gosh. Well, for me, managing the day-to-day stress, I definitely like having my routines. Like, for me, that's what I thought you were saying originally, but I guess not, Kelly. But for me, I gotta stay on my routines, and it kind of helps me de-stress. Like, I help my dad in the backyard with the chickens and the gardening, so I help him out with that. And then if I'm stuck in traffic, like I was saying earlier, I actually listen to podcasts, and I know it sounds really weird, but I actually listen to like true crime podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
And like, it's weird because like when you're listening to it, it's like, this is horrible stuff. Like, I know it's horrible, and like just the cruel things that happens, but for some reason, sometimes that I'm just listening to someone else tell me a story, whether it's bad or good, it just helps me because it's like that escape from reality. Like, I don't think about my situation, and it's fine. And the same thing, I also know that it's like day to day, you just take one step forward, because it's not going to be the same, like you were saying earlier. Yeah. Like, it's not going to last. It's going to be that one moment, and you'll move on for it. Like, even financially, like, you may not be there financially right now, but you know that down the line, you'll get there. Just take it one step at a time.
Because if you dwell on it, then you're going to miss the rest of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, our next question would be the fastest way to de-stress. So, for example, like, say you just had like a stressful moment, like say like at work, someone yelled at you or argued with you, or maybe a boyfriend or girlfriend like argued with you, and I don't know, you're just having a very, very stressful moment. How do you de-stress from that moment? So Kelly, we'll go with you again.
It depends, because if it's because of somebody else, like if I was working and somebody yelled at me and I'm just like, you are so wrong, and I'm about to tell you in 10 different ways, but I can't do it because I don't want to get fired. So,
pity of not being the manager.
Yeah, well, the best way to de-stress for me is just to, if you can't physically remove yourself from the stressor, then you just take a deep breath, because that, like, everybody says take a deep breath, but it actually works because it gives you a little bit of pause so you can think about what you're about to say, or kind of hold yourself back from saying something hurtful that you don't mean. Right. And
no, it's true, because working customer service, they actually tell you that, like, when a customer is yelling at you, like, especially because I did a lot of phone stuff, just to kind of take control of like the situation. Like, someone's like telling you like, oh man, like, you're terrible, like, why do you even like do this job, like, they should fire you. I've had people say that to me, because when you can't see someone, it's like a free-for-all. Like, you don't think of them as human, you're just think of them as this person who is making me mad. So basically what I've learned in like my industry is you have to like kind of maybe like put them like on hold just for like a second, and it's like taking like a deep breath and like have that pause so that you could kind of take control again. You know what I mean? But for some other like coping things, I learned that if you do something like with your hands, it's usually
that's true.
like better.
I did
like a stress ball,
like stress ball, like even like with a paper clip, like undoing like a paper clip.
Like moving it. Oh, that's
I think they had that in like Made in Manhattan.
I wish I did that.
I think the little boy was like trying to do public speaking, and like the main,
oh my goodness, Made in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez.
And like the guy was just like, if you take a paper clip while you're talking, you won't be as stressed. Like, you know what I mean?
That is so true.
Yeah, because
I'm so glad you brought that up. That's such a classic movie.
You go J-Lo.
Even though it's not really classic.
Oh, actually,
It's
if you look in the drawer, there's something that I have that helped me with a lot with stress. The hand.
Is it an autograph from J-Lo?
I wish. Oh yes. If you
That
look under
looks
your
so
seats,
violent.
you get it present. No, but for me, this is something that really helps because this is like a little hand weight and you can adjust the pressure. So maybe if you're feeling really stressed, you can kind of like make it.
So what Kelly is
stronger.
trying to say is that don't mess with her because she has a good punch range.
No, this is more for your grip. So it's kind of like, because with the stress balls, I can't use them because of my nails.
Oh.
So instead of that, I have this. And you can kind of do like a few gentle squeezes to kind of help you just relax. I'm not squeezing it like this. Like,
no, in my head, I'm like, so if you guys don't know, Kelly actually does Wing Chun, so I just think it's funny. I'm just thinking about that right now. Me? Oh gosh. Well, like,
see, you already got it. April, try it out.
Well, for me, it's
I don't want to
different
show
because
my
with
non-athletic
me and the sport
prowess.
I do, I kind of need to have this.
I'm gonna use both hands. I can't even do it with both hands.
No, I'm sure you can. I love how we're just trying this out now.
Oh, actually, that hurts.
I created more
muscle flex.
Oh no, I created more.
That is very smart though. Those are good. I feel like I might actually want to use those.
Like
I don't
fidget
know why I
spinners.
keep it here though, because I'm not gonna be stressed, at this time.
I know. Seriously,
Yeah.
that is true. I mean, like for me, in those moments, it is true. Like I agree with you guys. Like the breathing thing, like that is true because you gotta take a step back and say like, this won't last. Like this is not gonna.
You're feeling this now, but
yeah, you're feeling this now, but you'll work through it.
Mm.
And it's even better because like as the time goes on, like the hours go by, you start de-stressing even more. And then at the end of the day, like I will come home and actually have tea. Like this, I'm not just saying this because the tea and talking. This is true because as you guys know, I was sick for 3 years. And during that time, like I would come home just really, really stressed out, whether it was from school or whether it was from sports, just overwhelming. And I got no sleep because at that time I had really bad insomnia. So I would actually drink tea and I would de-stress that way too. So sometimes like in that moment, you just got to think like, okay, this is not going to last for a long time. And just know that it'll get better. And it's true what you were saying with venting.
Yeah,
that's true. And I feel like with tea, isn't like the process supposed to be like very soothing?
Oh, it absolutely is. Especially the way that when you have the entire setup of the tea, the very traditional style of Chinese tea brewing, it's very relaxing because it's so many steps and you have to think about the steps, and you can even have the like the smells of the tea come in.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, especially when you're making something that's really full of fragrance, whether it's jasmine tea or mint tea, that smell, it's good.
Like a bubble bath for your mouth.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I thought about eating soap.
You could also do that too.
Unrelated.
My mom's gonna wash her mouth out, right? Oh my goodness, this is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next question.
I'm sorry, I'm like this.
Those are funny points though. It's okay.
Oh, but going along with why people, when you get stressed over people yelling at you, I think it's helpful to kind of realize that if you're on the road and somebody cuts you off, maybe just kind of for a moment, just put yourself in their shoes. Maybe they're having a bad day and you're just getting like the really bad end of it.
She's had to learn this.
But yeah, so maybe they're not
Jersey
doing it
roads.
intentionally and they don't want to do this to you intentionally, or maybe they're not aware of how it's affecting you. Maybe they're used to doing some things a certain way and you just didn't take it the right way. So it's always good to kind of give people that benefit of the doubt, even if they don't necessarily deserve it. It's more helpful to me to de-stress.
No, that is true.
When I'm stressed out with
I love how
someone.
you put that in, even if they don't deserve it.
Even if they because they usually
Because, like,
don't.
yeah, like time in Jersey, they don't deserve your forgiveness. But at
Everyone
the
in
same
Jersey.
time,
It's for me, not them.
even me.
at the
Don't
same
get it
time,
twisted.
it is true. It is true to always learn to forgive. That is very important. And even I catch myself not forgiving people, and I know that I should. I love how you're thinking about stuff right now. Like
I'm thinking about one specific thing.
oh my god. Okay, well let's not talk about that right now, but definitely tell me after. Okay, anyways, let's go into our next question, which is when things don't go the way that you want it to in life. Like, if you had planned this out and it just is not working out for you, like how do you move forward in life? So Kelly, once again, we'll start with you.
So when if it's something that I did and I made a mistake, or if I did something that I wasn't happy with, I guess going off of what April said, it's helpful to remember that, I don't have to compare myself to other people, and I can move forward knowing that I learned something from what I just did that wasn't right. Like, if I was working and I did something completely wrong and I had to start over, that's fine, because starting over means you can do it the correct way and you learn from what you did before. So it's not like you're going to make the same mistake again.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Like, as long as it's making you into a better person.
Right.
Then, like, that's basically, like, all that matters.
Just count your mistakes as blessings and lessons. Everything's a lesson. That's how
Even
I
when you don't want it to be a lesson.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of things you don't want to be a lesson, but...
And my mom says if you ever get scammed, because people get really stressed when they get scammed out of money. I don't know if it's a common occurrence, but like my mom said something along the lines of, dude, if you get scammed, just consider it as an expensive tuition. It might not be a lot of money, just consider it as tuition so it doesn't happen again.
Oh, that is smart though.
A life lesson tuition.
I mean, I hope I never get scammed, but still, like, yeah. I understand that process because it's a learning experience.
I feel like whenever I lost money, like if it was like a $20 in my pocket, my mom was just always like, it probably went to someone better. Well, and I was like, good enough for $20. But you know what? Think of the positives. Maybe it fed someone a chicken sandwich that they really wanted.
For $20, like, dang.
That's a good chicken sandwich, Kelly.
$20, wow.
Good chicken.
Oh my goodness. All right, so how about you, April? When things don't move the way that you want it to in life, like how do you move forward?
It was basically
was that?
It was just kind of like...
So you're bouncing off with Kelly then?
Okay. You have to just get into like that mentality about like, you know, it's not the end of the world. It feels like it is. It always feels like it is. But then it's just kind of like assess the situation and like try to like solve it to the best that you can.
Right.
And like whatever like the outcome is, just kind of learn from it.
True.
Yeah, because that's all you can do. Like, I mean, you can't change what happened. It happened. So then what you can do is just learn from it.
Wow, I feel like all of us have similar like ideas of how to handle or like go forward because
learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, mine's
that's
similar
very
to
textbook
that.
too. It sounds like something a therapist would say.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't no therapist, but yeah, that is
can't
true.
afford a therapist either.
Yeah, like we are no therapists, right? No, I was gonna say like that is very similar to what I do too, because in sports, not just in sports, but many different aspects of my life, like things did not go forward the way I wanted it to, and it was very painful. And so during those times, I would allow myself a 24-hour period to dwell on those emotions, like feel it, live it, like it's okay. Like whether it's I was angry or whether or not I wanted to cry about it, like I gave myself a 24-hour period to just allow myself to like flow in those emotions. And then the next day I'm like, okay, that's done with. Let's talk about what we can do to change that. And it's like, I kind of just go through my mind, and I actually have a journal that I write into, whether it's my, like my competition journal that has to do with sports. I will actually write down in that same journal, like whether it has to do with life issues as well. Like, okay, now that that's happened, what can I learn from this experience? And I go over and write down all these things that I've learned from it. And then from that point on, I'm done. I cried about it. I'm no longer going to worry about it. And I just move forward from there and just say like, hey, what's done is done. And like you were saying, it's just you move forward from that.
That's actually super cathartic as well, just because when you write it down, probably what you're feeling and everything like that, you're expressing it like on a page, like if you're not able to express your emotions, but also you could take that because it's physical. And maybe later on down the line, when you're feeling like that again, maybe for the same reason, you could just read it and just be like, I got through this. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, I felt like this. I got through it.
I have like 3 or 4 journals that I've had since, so I've had my first journal was in, I think like high school. I think it was like 10th grade that I got my first journal. And I've been writing in these journals. And so I have like 4 journals now. So I have 3 completely filled journals and I have a 4th one. And that's that I've actually done. And that really does help me is keep writing it down in a journal, all of my learning experiences.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, no, I know, like, it sounds really weird when I say it out loud because I'm like, oh, it's a journal, it's like a diary. But no, it is good, like what you were saying. It is because this is something that I learned through sports.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of athletes actually have a journal pertaining to their sports. Even football players, like I'm saying, like D1 athletes and even professionals, they have journals. Like you might not think that they do, but they absolutely do. And then they write it in. And especially if you're in, sports psychology. Majority of athletes actually have a sports psychologist that help them. But it's not about life lessons though. Like it's so funny because I've actually seen other athletes go to sports psychologists and be like, I'm having this issue with my boyfriend. Like, okay, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the reason why you can't kick a ball.
It's
you know
true.
what I mean?
Well, that makes sense though.
But still it helps.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I did take a sports psychology class.
Oh, so yes, then you do understand, yes.
Psych minor.
Wow, so not only did you work in retail and customer service, you actually studied some of this psychology.
I studied social behavioral science and I was going to do occupational therapy and then I just went into sales. So it just happened.
Impressive. Still impressive. Oh my goodness. So let's go on to our really, really fun question. And I really love this question. And even before we started this video, I was cracking up about it when I thought about it. So what is something that y'all stressed out about that was absolutely ridiculous? Like you knew that you should not have stressed out about it, but for some reason it hit you. Sorry.
For me, something that I get stressed out over that's ridiculous, it'll probably be driving, honestly, on the road. That's pretty ridiculous because when you think about it, you're getting really upset over somebody for making a mistake that you probably made like 20 seconds ago or on the same drive over. So it's kind of hypocritical, but sometimes you just can't help it. It just feels so, I don't know, for me, it just feels so bad. Like I always get so stressed when people are like, they don't follow the rules of traffic and they do something that I found to be irritating or dangerous and I get so offended. But in reality, I've probably done the same thing before. So that's pretty ridiculous how angry I get. Like it's disproportional. Okay. It's really disproportional anger.
So it's like that hypocriticalness at the same time. Okay, gotcha. Like, I'm following along.
It's like you're angry. No, I'm angry. So thanks for putting me into that situation.
Oh my goodness. All right, April, what about you? What's something ridiculous?
Well, other than like
you stressed out
relationship stuff, but I don't know. I think for me that's ridiculous, and Kelly knows, and you've heard about it before, is that it's stuff that I can't really control, like I snore. And then I freak out about it whenever I have to go on trips or I have to sleep over somewhere. And I think it's so, and everyone's telling me, hey, everyone does it. It's a bodily like function. Yes. But then it's just like, I get really stressed out about it. Like I bought like so many things. I bought the things that you put up your nose and I bought the strips. Nothing works. But like I tried sleeping in different positions. I was going to buy a pillow. You know, surgery is $10,000 and that stresses me. But like, and then it's like stupid things like that. Like things I can't control. Like about like my face. Like if I have like if I didn't wax. And then I'm overthinking because it's funny because I called them one time and I was supposed to hang out with them before I went on a date. But then I was like, oh my gosh, guys, I can see my mustache. So I went all the way to 3 different like CVS's and like Walgreens just to find like that Nair one.
Yes, that is so
And then I'm in like the parking lot and it's funny because like this girl, like that's the only thing I bought. And I even told the cashier, is like, yeah, I need this for a date. Like, I'm just really stressed out because I have to be there in like 17 minutes. And she's like, I feel you, girl. And I'm in the parking lot doing it because it takes 10 minutes. And like, what did you say that I look like? A Chinese?
You look like
Colonel Sanders.
A Chinese Colonel Sanders. I knew you were Filipino.
Yeah, I was like, wow. And then the cashier actually came up. Like, she pulled up right next to me and then she saw me and she knew like the context too. So I was just looking at her and she was just like, good job. But that's something yeah, I do the most. I do the most. Yeah, but then it's just like, that's something so stupid to stress over. It's just like, I wasted so much gas. I'm not even with this person. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's so dumb that like, you're going through all that and it's just like, why?
Yeah, just small minor things.
It's like, it's so small.
Okay, before I talk about something that's ridiculous, I am going to print out one thing. And it's actually regarding my mom. I'm not saying I get stressed out about her. So when my mom when she's getting stressed out, it usually has to do with the fact that she hoards stuff. And then she goes through this endless cycle of like, I need to clean. And then she hoards. And then she needs to clean it because she bought so much stuff. And then she hoards against an endless cycle where she gets stressed out. It's so silly.
Did you show her Marie Kondo?
Oh, God. She would not watch Marie Kondo. I wish she would, but
everything
she
will spark
wouldn't.
Life.
Oh,
Joy.
Yeah, this sparks joy. This sparks joy. No, anyways, for me, something that stresses me out is people when they're stubborn. Okay, so I definitely am stubborn at times. I absolutely am. But one thing's for sure. There's one particular story, and I know that if my boyfriend watches this, he's gonna get really upset when I say this. But my boyfriend, he's also an athlete, and he is also the laziest thing. Like, I will say this, athletes are very, very lazy. They're probably the laziest people you ever meet. And I know that sounds like a contradiction, but that is so true. Their thing is they won't walk up the stairs. Like, if they can take an elevator, they would take an elevator, because their excuse is, I just worked out. Why would I walk up the stairs? Like, I'm not even joking. And like, I've seen my boyfriend go all the way around to take a ramp rather than take stairs. It's so ridiculous. I'm not even kidding. But one thing I would get annoyed is, he doesn't want to cook for himself at all. Like, and if he does, it's something simple. So in the morning, I will make eggs. I will make pancakes. I will go all out and make all these really, really good foods.
I'm going to come over next time.
I know. Everyone loves when I make food. Like, people have actually come over for Sunday brunch. Like, they do. And it's really good. So you guys are more than welcome to come over. But I make really good breakfast foods. So when I make them, he'll eat them. But if I don't cook, he'll just eat cereal. That's it. He just eats cereal. So I've brought it up to him like, no, like, if it wasn't for me cooking, you would not eat any of these things. And he's like, no, I just genuinely like eating cereal. I like eating it. If I had the choice, I would just eat cereal. I'm like, okay. So I would make pancakes for him. And I'm like, okay, so are you going to have cereal or are you going to have pancakes? He's like, obviously I'm going to have pancakes. So I'm like, wait, so that means you're lazy? Like, you're just not going to cook your food? And he just does not see it. Like, his stubbornness, like, he does not want to admit that he's too lazy to cook his own food. He's just trying
to justify it.
Yeah, he's trying to justify it. It's the silliest thing ever. But it stresses me out because I'm like, why don't you just admit it? Like, it's so stupid. I'm like, it frustrates me so much. And even now, as you could tell with my body, like, right now, I'm like, I want to strangle it. But seriously, it's absolutely stupid and ridiculous because, like, why don't you just admit that you like these things over cereal? You just don't cook it for yourself. And he's like, no, I just really like cereal. I'm done with you. I'm done.
He's going to watch us later on and be like,
you're done with him. Or you're done with him.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
He's literally going to watch this video and just going to be like, you see this box of cereal? And he's going to eat it. And then he's like, I'll need it. I can stop anytime I want to.
Oh my gosh, you know what? I really should just start, like, having mini clips. Like, I will never do TikTok, but if I ever end up doing something remotely close to, like, Vine or TikTok, I would just be of James eating his cereal. Like, stupid things. So another thing that's ridiculous that I've stressed out about was video games. Because you guys did mention it before. So I had this one ridiculous moment when I was playing Assassin's Creed, oh my goodness, what's the one with the pyramids? Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm blanking.
They all have pyramids.
No. It was in Egypt. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm blanking out right now. This is horrible. But anyways, I was playing that one specific Assassin's Creed. I'm so mad that I'm blanking out right now. Anyways, there's this one area of the map where I was in some sort of fortress. It was a big fortress. And there's this one really big, huge, heavy guy with like a giant weapon. And apparently for most people, he's totally okay to deal with and stuff like that. Or at least I thought so. Because half the people online said that it was easy to deal with. For other people, they were just like me. They were getting really, really ticked off and stuff like that they could not defeat this guy. So 3 times, and by the way, it takes me an hour to completely kill all the enemies in this one fortress. Mm-hmm. I did it 3 times on the same day, and I just could not kill this guy. And on the 3rd try, I was so irritated because, like I said, 3 hours of trying to kill everybody in the same fortress, and that one guy in that fortress finally killed me. I was so angry. I legit like just tossed my controller, stopped playing for like a month. I'm not even kidding. A month I stopped playing and I finally played again and I was able to kill him.
First try?
No,
not even
that's
first
what I was gonna
try.
say.
Oh,
Like
God.
I had to level up my character. And if you guys ever played Assassin's Creed, you know that how difficult it is to level up. Or at least it's not like Dark Souls, but
I can't relate because I did
Yeah,
all the
like-
side quests first. Oh my god, Dark Souls.
but it's so ridiculous. But I stressed out about that. Oh. So anyways, I'm sorry, April, you had one too, right? Another ridiculous
yeah,
moment.
it's something so stupid, but everyone gets annoyed by this. Like, I don't even know if this is like something stressful or like annoying, but I do get stressed from it, which is dumb. It's like when things like buffer.
Oh, yes.
And it's just like, I dated a guy one time, and it's just like, I thought I was the one being ridiculous. But then the video just kept buffering, right? And it would like stop every 5 seconds. And I would actually get physically frustrated. And then he was okay.
Downloading.
He was fine though. And I was just like, this doesn't bother you? And then he looked me dead in the eye and he was just like, it's just gonna come back after 5 seconds. And I was just like,
5 seconds.
it's like, wow.
Wait, was it just continuously stopping? So
Yeah,
it's
every
like-
5 seconds. And he was totally okay with it. And I wasn't. And I don't know if I was. Is
Okay,
that
that's understandable.
okay? I thought I was crazy.
No, you
okay,
were
so
not
maybe
crazy.
I dodged a
would,
bullet
yeah.
because I don't know who would have the patience for that.
No, that's
like,
crazy.
I
That's
don't-
crazy.
like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, that is very true. Ah.
Like legit, he was just like, it's just gonna come back.
No,
And I'm
happened. This happened to me, and we were both like on the verge of screaming because we were like, "Stop buffering! Just play it." It was JoJo too. It was so
JoJo's
exciting.
Bizarre
Yeah, it was
Adventure.
JoJo, and I'm like, "How can you pause this scene? Oh, just let
That's
it
how
go."
I feel with reading mangas. Like if the manga's pages don't load fast enough, I get really mad.
Or like when it doesn't. So you're reading everything, right? But then there's just like one page that didn't load at all.
Yes, exactly.
And then you're just
Yes.
like, and that's the only thing
Why?
that's like
Yes.
out there, like online, or even when
Yes.
you're like, oh, this is why
Or
you
if
need
it
to buy
loads
it.
halfway.
This is
Oh, halfway is horrible.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a really, really good scene and you're like, I want to know what happened.
But this is why we should just buy it physically. Support your artists.
I know. Honestly, we're over here talking crap about how it doesn't load when in reality we can
It's not
just
supposed
buy
to
it.
load.
Yeah. That's so sad. about
Stimulate
those
your
things.
economy.
That is so true. Wow. We're so messed up in that aspect. I was gonna say, oh my gosh, with the loading. I just blanked out. I was gonna say something
It's
else.
always loading. That's
always
like, we
buffering.
have no patience. Or remember like back in the day,
No patience. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Mm.
remember with AOL?
Yes.
Like
Oh
if
my
you guys
God.
don't know what AOL is, then this wow. Wow. But like the dial up and then you're waiting and then
Yeah.
you're like and when you're like downloading something and it could go
Oh
for
my
like it says like
goodness.
19 hours and then it stops and then you have to
That's like-
re-download it. Wow.
That's like when
2000
Xbox had
problems.
their updates, and it would take like half the day to update, or even sometimes PlayStation did it too.
It's better if it's accurate, but sometimes your computer says 12 minutes and then it jumps to 52 days.
That loading. That's what I was saying. Like, I feel like we've become very impatient nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, I had this conversation with someone recently. I don't know if it was you, Kelly, or if it was someone in my family, but I was saying how with microwaves, back then it's like, oh wow, like we can just cook food instantly. That's so amazing. And now it's like we stare at a microwave and we're like, the food's not done yet. Really? It takes me 5 minutes to cook this? Or like when we're making like something like a TV dinner or like one of those like lasagna pan things and you put in the oven and you're like, this takes 45 minutes to cook? I thought
Why
this
is-
was easy.
Why is your lean cuisine taking 45 minutes?
Yeah, like, no, I'm
Wait.
saying like those lasagna pans.
Oh,
lasagna.
I literally said lasagna
Cuisine.
pans.
I was like,
No, if your lean cuisine is taking that long, like maybe you should stop it.
you're doing something wrong if your lean cuisine is taking that long. Or your microwave is broken. Or maybe you're not even using a microwave. I don't know.
That's so important to say though, how impatient we've gotten.
Yeah. I remember
That's true.
April when we were doing that HelloFresh and we had to put the peppers in the oven for 40 minutes. I was so close to just going, why?
We didn't put it in for 40 minutes.
Yeah, we did. In the oven,
It
remember?
would have burnt. No, we only put that for 19 minutes. You felt it was 40 minutes?
It felt like forever. It felt like 5 days.
Point here, right?
I was like, I thought this would be done in like 2 seconds.
I'm so glad you put that in as impatience, because I'm a pretty patient person when it comes to dealing with people. Like
Yeah.
I can deal with most things. Like believe me, I worked in a political office and that was fun. Honestly, it was fun. It was great. I miss everything about that, to be honest. But at the same time, you definitely have your fair share of like customer, like, you know what I mean? It's not even customers. Not even
customers. They're not getting money from
It's just people in general.
Yeah,
people you're
people
dating, your friends.
So it's like I can deal with a lot of patience. I have so much patience, but it's very true that when it comes to food or like watching TV shows or like you want
driving.
that on time.
I'm calling you out. Drive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Callie knows.
And like it's
with my driving.
Oh my gosh. But it's like it seems like dumb because like these things just seem like it could be an annoyance, but this actually kind of stresses people out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because
it's like that first world problem.
Yeah,
it is
privilege,
so
but we don't realize this anymore. We don't recognize it anymore. It's just more stressors when it should have been making our lives easier, but it's also just causing stress, but in different ways.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
Impatience, yo.
Impatience.
It is impatience.
That instant gratification.
I also have so I got smart TV, right?
Okay.
And then I got stressed out because I lost a remote. and then I was just like, oh man, but it's like a smart TV, so it's gonna do my phone, right?
Yeah.
But then my Wi-Fi wasn't working.
Oh.
And then like I couldn't control like the TV with my phone because the Wi-Fi wasn't connected. And these are all my problems. But then I threw my phone onto like the bed, and then I was just like, I'm gonna go for a walk. Can't do this right now. But even though everything was my fault, this is stupid things to be stressed about. I was really stressed. I got really upset. It's like when people hit like computers too.
Oh my goodness. No, I was gonna say when we were kids and we had to blow into the Nintendo cartridges and it didn't work. Like, or when you like tried to slap open like the restart, like slap it, slide it. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys remember that. You had to like for the restart, you had to like push it forward, and it still wouldn't restart.
Oh my god, mine was when I used to play like, The Sims on PC, like back in like the early 2000s, and sometimes like you overload the computer with like all your stuff, right? So then like you're like, okay, I'm gonna like open it, right? But then it crashes, and I was just like, you know what, I didn't even want to play anyway.
That was the worst.
And honestly, it was my own fault because I had too much custom content.
I love how we're going back into video games because this is so true too. Because back then, like video games were very difficult to deal with because if you didn't have a save point, like if you had, and so like all that stuff, like if you're a Nintendo or your Dreamcast or your PlayStation, whatever the case may be, if it crashed on you, like that was it. You lost whatever you did.
If you didn't make it past the save point. You're like, it's game over.
There weren't even any save points back in the day. You just had to save every single thing manually.
Or if you had to like get to like a point and then like immediately right after you have to get to like a boss.
Yes.
And then you have to just...
Not even video games, like our documents too. We never had quick save or auto save. We never had any of
that. That is very, very true.
Like you spent hours because you did it again. You procrastinated and your report is due in like 5 hours when you go into school. And then like you're writing everything down and then because you do everything all at once and then you just didn't save it. Or like or your computer dies.
Oh, I'm stressed.
I just thought of something else that's ridiculous.
I'm so stressed.
I just thought of something else that was absolutely ridiculous.
Or just a blackout.
No, you guys actually might laugh at. Like, it stressed me out, but it was only for one split moment because after that, it was just ridiculous. So I hate to be crapping on the younger generation because I give them the benefit of the doubt for not knowing things. Like, there are some things that the older generation, like, I don't know what they did. But obviously one of those things like not knowing a floppy disk, but it wasn't even that. Like I have one better. So in the old office that I used to work for, we were cleaning up the office and a bunch of the interns that we had. So I was managing the interns and they didn't know what an atlas was. Like they found an atlas and they had no idea what it was. And I'm like, oh, those are maps. And they're like, how do you use a map though? Like, you know, it's not like you can like use it when you're driving. It's like, exactly. You have to stop on the side of the road and use it and figure out which roads that you need to go on. They're like, well, how do you know where how do you know how to like, how do you know where you are? And it's like, you look at the mile markers. And they're like, what's a mile marker? I'm like, you pass them when you're driving all the time, yo. Like, how do you not know? And like, it was really frustrating and like, it really did stress me out because I'm like, how do you guys like, if your car broke down or like your GPS or your phone wasn't working, like how it made me stressed out for their well-being because I'm like, how are you guys gonna survive in this? Like you guys don't know what an atlas is. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like distress for their well-being. But it quickly ended. But that was something silly and
like
ridiculous.
what happened to us? That was stressful when we didn't have a GPS in the mountains. That was stressful.
Our friend, we got stuck from going to LA to Vegas, and I think there was a truck fell over, so we were stuck in 7-hour traffic when it was supposed to be 4 hours. Whoa. So our friend was just like, I'm gonna go into the mountains. And I'm like, why? And then he's just like, I'm gonna follow this one car because it's gonna get us through the mountains. And then he like went into like he followed like that one car, and then we followed him for like 20 minutes, and we're just going into like small towns and everything. And then we didn't have any GPS anymore. We didn't have any signal. Then apparently we were following like a ghost car or something.
It was an Uber, and I think it made a wrong turn, or it just disappeared.
It disappeared. And then it said dead end. And then we're just like, we don't even know where we are. And then I'm just like,
that's crazy.
I was like, Keith, we're gonna die here. Like, I'm gonna die in the desert, in the mountains, the desert mountain.
Yeah, that was stressful.
Yeah.
Oh. I think I made the stress worse because I said that I was gonna drive, but then
she said she was gonna drive while she was taking like a pill to help her, melatonin. And then she's like, guys, I'm gonna drive. Eats her pill, falls asleep. I had to drive. I'm the captain now. So
actually,
that was stressful.
Backseat drivers stress. Actually, that's not even stress. That just upsets me.
Backseat driver, it's upsetting. Yeah, it's upsetting.
Yeah. It's like I have no problem with people like in the car like changing music. Like, I'm not one of those people that complain. Like, so if I'm not in charge of the music and someone else's, I don't care. Whatever. Yeah. As long as it's good music, really, I don't mind. But backseat drivers, when they try and tell me how to drive, no. That's a big no. It's a big.
But like, I guess,
no. Yeah.
For like this, even though it sounds so petty and like stupid to be stressed up about these things, I guess we should be grateful because this is like really stupid things to be stressed about while other people are going through it, like a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that is very true. Like I said, it is kind of first world problems.
It's just completely first world problem.
But I've had so many experiences. Like, my dad will never be a backseat driver with me. He's perfectly fine. He actually says that I'm a great driver. And he's not surprised that I become the designated driver a lot of the times. But with my mom, I will have, like, a huge gap distance. And my mom's like, break. Oh, my goodness, you're going too fast. I'm like...
Does she do the I'm going to curse. Like, the bar?
Oh, no, she doesn't do that.
No, like that little handle thing?
No, but she starts cursing at me in Spanish. I'm like, I'm not gonna say it, but she starts cursing at me in Spanish.
Or like when you merge, and then and for some reason that stresses me out because you're just like, what are you saying about my driving? We're literally merging into like a lane, and I'm going like the exact appropriate amount of speed, and there's no one here.
Just you glide in, and
then
somehow
like
or another someone has to say something,
and like you're just like, and sometimes they're not even saying anything. It's just like when they do that one motion, it's just like you're insulting me.
Yeah, right?
It's like, how dare you?
You take it like a personal insult.
Like,
for
how
one
dare you?
moment.
It's like, I wish I had a bar every time that you made me stressed. So like.
Oh my gosh, I wish that we can have like an insult, like just like every single time you got offended, just like ring a bell.
Oh god.
That bell would ring all the time.
Could you imagine you're on the phone with a customer, like you just hear bells?
It'll just be ambient music.
Yeah, the customer is just like, do I hear bells? Like, don't worry about it.
That's like, you have to pause, and it's just kind of, you could ring a bell, maybe that will help you
de-stress.
What is
it? Isn't it like the
triangle?
Like the triangle, like ting. Anyways, so that's a really, really good note to end on because I think we absolutely had fun with this one.
Mm-hmm.
And because as much as we do stress out, at the end of the day, life is beautiful, life is great, and we do have to appreciate and be blessed with the things that we have in life. So I'm so glad you guys are here with me to enjoy this. So for now, just like and comment our video, and at the same time, just share with us how you de-stress and the things that you would do to cope with how do you move forward. And we would also love to hear your ridiculous stories too. Like, what do you guys have stressed out before? I definitely love hearing those small little stories.
Yeah.
Those crack me up. So anyways, until next time, guys. All right, bye.
Bye.